Here is a 1 minute chart on JAMN Java, a stock that a lot of people in chat have been making a lot of money on day trading. So today I took a spin with JAMN and I was successful 3 out of 4 times. I don't mind day trading. It's not my favorite thing to do. It's a little more relaxing to buy and hold for a week or two, and sell into a catalyst. But the stock has just been on fire lately, and there were too many opportunities not to grab some quick cash. So I'm happy it worked out well today. I figure since there's a lot of new traders on the list, and some people new to day trading or technical analysis in general, I'll just point out where I bought and sold and why. So, let's get going. I'll have to toggle between 2 screens here, so bear with me. And my allergies are going as a result of all the pollen, so there probably will be some sniffling along the way. Bear with me. First buy this morning, let's see. I tried to pick up 3,000 shares right in here, 458. All right, I figured after this dip it was going to work its way back through, this 470 resistance. So I grabbed a position at 458 right about there. I tried to get 3,000 shares like I said, but no luck. I only filled 1,727 shares. Let it ride all the way up till 5. Okay, so the reason for the buy was because I figured it was going to break through this resistance after you caught the bounce right here. So pick up the shares, and it started to pull back off of 5. I figured that was a good time to take profit. I was up, I think, about $800 at that point in time. I'm not sure. So I sold right there at 5 when it failed to break through. I just, a round number like that, $5, it's safe to say that that's just going to be mental resistance either way. So took profits there, and then I bought back right here. I felt like it was going to go through 5, but not on the first test. Since it didn't sell off like this time, and there were more buyers in through here, you can see the dip and then the buyers come back in, that led me to believe it was going to push through it. So let's see, I grabbed 3,000 shares at 481 right here. So first flip was, what did I say, 458 to, what was it? Yeah, 458 to $5. So about 40 cents. That's perfect in my opinion. Anytime I can get 50 cents, per share, that's great. Picked up 3,000 shares here at that would have been 481, and I let that one ride all the way till 517. So, there was a little stutter here. You can see the pullback right in through here, and I got out on that jump right there. I actually put I put a market order in. I think, what was that right about there, about 510, and there was a big surge of buying right after I put my market order in. So I got bought out right there at, I think, 517. So another nice profit, from 481 to 517. Pretty much, 40 cents again. Per share. So this time a little more money because I had 3,000 shares. So that worked out well, about 1,500 bucks, I believe, if my math is correct. And it wasn't time to call it quits on JAMN yet. JAMN yet. In the afternoon, I decided to get back in. Luckily, after selling it here, I got away from it. I felt like it was getting too toppy. A couple people asked me in chat if I was going to go for another round, and I said no. At this point, I think it needs to correct. It was up like 50% or something like that, and then the stock just falls. That's what you got to be careful of on these LEXG, JMN, possibly TBBC type stocks. Look how quick this goes. These are all 1 minute candles. This can crush you. Because you figure it's going to bounce. Look at all the people who bought here thinking it was going to bounce. Look at that big rush of volume. Let me scroll down. Look at that. These are all buyers and shorts covering. And these people all feel like it's going to bounce here, and it doesn't. It just continues right down. And then you get the second, round of buying right here, where people think it's going to bounce, and it doesn't. And it finally settles all the way down here. So you get a $2 flush in just a matter of 30, 40, maybe 1 hour at the most. I don't know what this is. What time is it right there? 11:35 to 12:05. Oh my God. So 30 minutes, you know, that's a nightmare. I've been caught in those before. You can't get out. Everybody's, shuffling their orders around 10, 20 cents ahead of the bid, and you just can't get out, and it collapses. So that's what you have to be careful of. Luckily, we avoided it by going from here to here, and then here to here. So that was this morning. After this had all settled, it made its rise and fall. A couple of people played the dead cat bounce in chat, and then it challenged it here. And I think I jumped back in right when it broke it. What is this, around $5 here? Yeah, so I jumped back in right around here when it started to get this sideways chop and consolidation, and traded it from 5 to 521. And I sold on the way down here because 525, it actually broke through 525 for a short period of time. There was a huge wall on the ask, and tons of traders were selling right there, and it broke through, and I thought it might go, but then as soon as it pulled back below 525, I knew that that was going to be or act as resistance. So I took my profit at 521. So 20 cents this time on 3,000 shares. But not a bad flip, just identifying this as a nice sideways bullish pattern. The stock didn't come back down immediately, kind of went sideways, consolidated a little bit, shook out some sellers, and then it charges back up. So that was 3 for 3. So I had to go back for more after that, which was at 510, and I'm not 100% sure where my entry was, but after it pulled back, I figured it was going to go again. I grabbed shares, I want to say in through here. I could be wrong. And then I grabbed some more at 520 when it got going in through here, figuring it was going to break. And then I think I sold right here when it dipped. I put a market order in and just got out. So I took a small loss on that one because I bought at 510, and then I bought more at 520. And then when it dipped right here, I cut my loss real quick. When I day trade, if it doesn't go in the direction I want it to go, I get out real quickly, because you can see this right here, this 1-2 punch right there, that could easily become that. You just don't know. So when I try and flip, I try and buy into strength, hoping that it'll run 10, 20 cents immediately, and then I have some cushion, to get out on the downside. And you can kind of see how that worked out for me in through here, right away I'm up. I get in and the stock surges, so the timing works out perfectly. And the same thing on the dip. I get in here and it just moves up right away. So I've got cushion in case it dips. But I didn't have a lot of cushion. I added, here at 520, and it started to dip. You see those candles right there, and that's scary, especially after you see this all morning. So, that's how I day traded JAMN today successfully 3 out of 4 times, and I think I picked up a couple $1,000s on this one. I know people in chat did as well, or better than me on it. So hopefully you can join us in chat. We'll do this from time to time. It's not my favorite thing to do, but it's a nice way to pass the time once in a while when the other positions are moving slow. All right, that's it.